If you find yourself stuck in a rut with your lead playing and you find yourself playing the same licks over and over again, then consider adding some pentatonic triads and 3-note chords to your playing to spice things up a bit. These ideas and concepts will make your lead playing sound a lot more musical, interesting and spicier. For the purposes of today's video, I'm going to be using the A minor pentatonic scale to demonstrate all of the triads and 3-note chords that you can find within this box shape. I've picked the key of A minor because I think most guitar players are familiar with that. We're going to stick to just pentatonic box 1. I've seen a number of videos on the same concept on pentatonic triads before. These videos are great, but they actually use the natural minor scale a lot. So if you haven't learned that scale, don't worry, we're just going to keep it simple. We're just going to stick to the 5 notes, the standard box 1 shape of the pentatonic, and we're going to find some interesting ideas and shapes within that framework. So as a quick reminder, the pentatonic scale, we've got 5 notes. In A minor, those 5 notes are A, C, D, E, and G. Within those 5 notes, there are a number of ways you can split that up into 3-note chords. The main two triads that you find are A minor, so the notes A, C, and E, and C major, so the notes C, E, and G. You've also got 3 suspended chords that you can find within that as well. These aren't strictly triads. I know some people say they are triads. That's fine. They're 3-note chords. The definition's interchangeable. But these shapes are A sus4 or D sus2, depending on which note you consider your root note. They contain the notes A, D, and E. We also have G sus2 or D sus4. That contains the notes G, A, and D. And we also have C sus2 or G sus4. Those are the notes C, D, and G. So the way I'm going to structure this, I'm going to show you the full arpeggio shape first. Then I'm going to split it down into smaller 3-note chunks. I'm going to do that for every chord shape that I've mentioned. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to put that into a demonstration so you can hear how those concepts are going to sound in the real world. So just to recap our A minor pentatonic box 1 shape. If you haven't learned this before, don't worry, I'll explain it now. If you have learned it, then a recap is always a good thing. So we start on fret 5 on the low E string. We have 5 to 8. 5, 7 on the A string. 5, 7 on D. 5, 7 on G. 5, 8 on B, 5, 8 on the high E string, and then descend. Let's move on to that first triad that I named earlier. That would be A minor. So we have the notes A, C, and E. I'm going to demonstrate the full arpeggio shape now. So that's 5 on the E string, 8 on the E string. We have 7A, 7D, 5 on the G, 5 on the B, 5 on the high E, and then 8 on the high E string. And then we'll descend. Let's split that up into smaller 3-note chunks so you don't just have to play that shape up and down. It's actually better if you can do it in smaller 3-note things. When I do the improvisation later, you'll see that I only take small parts of it and I weave that into my licks that I already know. So the smaller voicings, so the smaller 3-note chunks, we have 5, 8 on the E string, 7A, that's 1. Number 2, we have 8E, 7A, 7D. Number 3, we've got 7A, 7D, 5G. We have 7D, 5G, 5B. All the 5s, we've got 5G, 5B, 5 high E. Finally, we've got 5B, 5 high E, and 8 on the high E string. Let's do the same thing now with the C major triad. I'm going to show you the full arpeggio shape first that's contained within that A minor pentatonic, and then we'll break it up into smaller 3-note voicings. So C major, we've got this. Slower, 8 on the low E string, 7A, 5 on D, G, and then B, and then 8 on the B string, 8 on the high E string. Breaking it up into smaller chunks. So now we've got the first triad shape, 8E, 7A, 5D. We've then got 7A, 5D, 5G. All the 5s, D, G, B. Then we're going to go 5G, 5B, 8 on the B string, and then 5, B, 8, B, 8 on the high E string. Now moving on to the suspended 3-note chords that are found within this pentatonic box. So we are not learning any new scales, we're not learning anything that you don't know, we're just rearranging what you already have into more interesting ideas. So this one is A sus4. We have sounds really nice, sounds really interesting. Let's break that down. So 5 on the low E, 5 D, all the 7s on A, D, and G, and then 5 on the B, 5 on the high E string, and then descend. Breaking that up into smaller 3-note chunks now. So you can add any of these ideas to your playing. It doesn't have to be just the whole master shape. So 5 on the low E, 5 on D, then 7 on the A string. Next one, we have 5, 7, A, and then 7, D. Then all the 7s, A, D, G. Then we have 7, D, 7, G, 5, B, and then 7, G, 5, B, 5 high E string. Next one is G sus2 or D sus4. It depends on which one you consider your root note. So if you're thinking about it as G sus2, it contains the notes G, A, and D. So I'm actually going to start it on an A just to give you the full picture of where you can go within this box shape. So we have 5 on the E string, A string, D string, and then 7 on D, 7 on G, 8 on the B, 5 on the high E string, and then descend. Now let's split that up into smaller 3-note chunks. So we have all the 5s, E string, A string, D. Shape number 2, we have 5 on the A string, 5 on the D, 7 on the G. Shape number 3, we have 5 on D, 7 on D, 7 on G. Shape number 3, 7D, 7G, 8 on B. And then the last one, 7G, 8B, 5 high E string. The last one I'm going to take a look at is C sus2 or G sus4. Again, depends on which note is your root note. They both contain the same notes, it just depends on how they're arranged. But we have the notes C, D, and G. So full shape. Slower, so 8 on the low E string, 5 on the A, 5 on the D, 5 on the G, 7 on the G, 8 on the B, 8 on the high E string, and then descend. Smaller 3-note chunks. So the first shape, we have 8 on the low E, 5 on the A string, 5 on the D. Next, all the 5s, A, D, G. Shape number 3, we've got 5 on the D, 5 on the G, and then 7 on the G. And then the last one, 7G, 8B, 8 high E string. The way to practice these triads and 3-note voicings to get them into your playing. You want to load up a backing track, so either create your own or find them on YouTube. Stick to the key of A minor for now, just do it in your standard pentatonic box. You want to try and weave them in to your licks that you already know. So still do all of your nice bends, slides, hammer-on pull-offs, all that good stuff. You don't want to change that side of your playing. That's where a lot of the feel is. But if you can just add in a few of these ideas, you're instantly going to sound a lot more interesting. You don't have to use every single one, and you don't just have to run up and down the full shapes. I actually prefer to kind of disguise it a little bit. I find that if I'm running up and down these full shapes all the time, it can sound a little bit contrived and maybe a little bit forced. But if I can weave them in naturally, takes a bit of practice, then it's going to sound a lot more natural and it's going to sound a lot better. So I recorded just a really basic chord loop. I just stuck to A minor, went to occasionally to D9. I'll demonstrate this concept now. I'm going to play my normal blues licks. I'm going to just close my eyes and kind of play, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to try and get as many of these ideas in as possible. You'll find that I do tend to stick to the A minor triads quite a lot. They tend to sound the best in the key of A minor. It's kind of self-explanatory, but I will try and get the others in there just so you can hear what they sound like. So as you can see from that demonstration, I tried to weave in as many of the ideas as that we went through as possible. It makes the playing sound a lot more interesting, especially when you start to hit some of those suspended ideas. You'll find that not a lot of other guitar players do that. So you really do start to stand out from the crowd. Again, practice this with some kind of backing. It's no good just practicing it just dead and in isolation. Obviously, you want to learn the shapes in isolation as I demonstrated to you earlier, but you must try and practice this stuff in rhythm and in time as much as you can, because that is when you really start to internalize these things and they start to weave into your playing naturally, as I discussed earlier. This lesson was based on a blog post that I wrote a while ago on my website. A lot of people messaged me and asked me, could I turn it into a video lesson and put it up on my website so I could demonstrate the concepts better? And I thought it was a good idea. So if you want to check out the original blog post, all the diagrams and tabs are on there. It's at coachtheguitarteacher.com. It will be listed and linked in the video description. That just about wraps up this lesson on pentatonic triads. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Again, check out my website, coachtheguitarteacher.com. And until next time, my friends, take care, enjoy guitar playing, and thank you very much.